Welcome to the VERTO New Energy event series. My name's Mike Bennett, and it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Nick Couper, Chief Operating Officer from HunterNet Career Connections, and Peter Morrissey, Industry Advisor from HunterNet Cooperative. So Pete, HunterNet Cooperative was established some 30 years ago. Can you tell us about its services and the sorts of businesses that you're working with as members?
Well, yes, over 30 years ago, that the closure of shipbuilding in Newcastle that developed a collaboration, as it were. The term "the power of many" was coined by the board of directors some time ago, and it is that power of many, of getting collection of businesses that are all driving towards this Hunter region, and it's connecting the businesses to other businesses in regions across New South Wales, and even more so, even as we are global now, connecting across the world. So it's by the bringing a collective voice to government, to industry, as well as being the like a feedback loop of direct one-to-one connections between members and the collaboration between members, and then towards especially government and other advocacy groups that are local as well.
And what are the sorts of members? What types of businesses are they, Peter?
Well, where they started was, of course, in the heavy engineering, manufacturing, fabrication type area. And with the change of the region, the BHP closure in '99, that has now diversified across everything from still that manufacturing base, but also now into, of course, power generation became synonymous with the region over the last 50 plus years. As well as that, with innovation and new industries that are coming and have been established in the Hunter, you now have a very diversified membership base across everything from circular economy, sustainability, new energies, as well as the basis of people who can make things and build all those sectors as well, and the sectors into the future.
And Nick, HunterNet then went on to establish HunterNet Career Connections as a group training organisation that fundamentally recruits and employs apprentices. What are some of the apprenticeship types and the industry areas that you're working in at the moment?
Thanks, Mick. Yeah, look, I'll probably go back a couple of steps if that's okay. And the organisation was created about 28 years ago, so in very quick succession to when the cooperative was formed. Same thing, based off the heritage of manufacturing, heavily supporting of manufacturing, coal services and transport. Through the demise of, I guess, some global financial crises, along with mining downturns, it was quickly understood that we needed to diversify a bit further to be able to withstand any external economic pressures, which led to us to where we are today. So to answer your question directly, I guess the top 4 qualifications that we support are engineering mechanical, engineering fabrication, electrotechnology, and then there's 3 streams of, I guess, aero skills that sit within defence. So whilst defence doesn't sound like a manufacturing qualification, they all sit within the MEM or that area of expertise. Outside of that, we cover 11 different industries across 18 different qualifications, all the way through from business services in traineeships all the way through. But I guess from the top 4 in regards to apprenticeships, they still traditional trades in fitting, fab, electrical, and then aerospace would be our top 4 lead qualifications.
So there's obviously a discussion around Hunter Central Coast and the renewable energy zone, and it's gaining momentum. So whilst still very much in the planning stages, what opportunities do you see, not only for HunterNet, but for HunterNet Career Connections and apprenticeships in general?
We play a big role. I see that could be a big opportunity for not only this organisation, but I think more broadly for any REZs that sit across New South Wales. GTOs should be and could be included at the table for that. A lot of the lifespan during the planning, construction, and then maintenance phases, as one of my colleagues has said, it goes beyond the horizon of the apprenticeship, right? So we talk about the REZ that's coming down from Bayswater to Araring. They're talking about a 2 or 3 year potential build, and then we go into implementation. the apprenticeship lasts beyond that. So where to with the people that have invested into organisations and invested into skills, GTOs play a massive role in that. Now, if we think about the roles for the apprentices in those zones and in those new industries that are coming, it's almost endless.
Yeah.
But it still will sit in those traditional core functions.
Yeah. Yeah. And Peter, the HunterNet Future Leaders program's gained quite a profile over the years. Can you tell us how the program works and what participants can expect?
Well, how it works is companies promote certain people that they feel will gain, and how they'll gain. The Future Leaders program has not only a very established alumni, but also over the 10 or 11 months of the program, it has an output that has been recognised by those companies and by the individuals themselves of how they've changed over the years. And it's one of the core areas that we need to build our leaders. We need to build the people that will be taking the next stage, the next industries forward in this region and for Australia itself. So it does have an enviable reputation as doing that, established in the modules. And also now they have a direct connection to both members and companies in the Hunter with their project series. So they're actually working closely with companies, developing real practical strategies as a leader and as a leadership team. And again, you get that collaboration of the power of many that's inherent to the whole program.
So you're clearly nurturing that whole notion of cradle to grave, aren't you, through the GTO, the apprenticeship space, then into the Future Leaders program. It's fantastic. So HunterNet also established the Environment Sustainability Cluster in 2018. Are you happy to speak to that, Peter?
Well, it's not really, I won't say a word of the cluster, but the areas that this encompasses that have probably progressed are now what's called circular economy industrial precincts, or I give them another term of net zero industrial precincts. They are a collaboration of both startups and companies in the existing area of the whole area of sustainability, circular economy, emissions, emission level 1, 2, 3, ESG, that all complement and are driving this new industries. We have a report that was done by Beyond Zero about 3 years ago, where there was a potential just in this region of close to 30,000 employees in these industrial precincts. So whereas environment sustainability is the same thing, that ESG actually covers two of those. So you have a drive in this sector of our pushing towards, again, the business, the industries that can collaborate, but especially the new industries that are emerging, that are coming through our extensive innovation, our research and development areas of both the university, near Uni of New South Wales and others. And they are all, we're sort of like where we can build an incubator that makes these things real. And then you start building the offtake as well as the production to then build the industries.
So you yourself, Pete, have had a pretty extraordinary career in electrotechnology. Are you happy to share your career experience?
Well, it gives a perspective to anyone that it starts off as an apprentice electrician. I was lucky enough to be in the large group called the Electricity Commission of New South Wales. So I had a diverse experiences in the apprenticeship in different sectors, and exposed me to a whole variety of opportunities. But since then, from becoming an operator on power stations, both thermal, diesel, hydro, to then towards the inspection and testing and commissioning of power stations during their construction periods, then leading into maintenance, service, overhauls of the electrical equipment. But then the other areas that, whilst they complement electrical as the base trade, I then went into hazardous areas and hazardous area design, testing, commissioning, installation, and again, inspection works. It's more of those things I'm not saying no to things.
Mm.
I think have spread, and that has led me around Australia in roles, and also overseas in roles coming. The area that I work in, there's this title called Industry Advisor, is I connect, I collaborate and transform. And that is just that wide diversity of experiences and roles that I've had and people that I've met now within the company of HunterNet and the other groups. It's being able to connect and collaborate both with our businesses and other businesses, and then just join them together and let them start talking.
And Nick, you yourself have employed and supported apprentices over a fairly lengthy part of your career. So what would be the advice that you would give an apprentice that's just starting out?
I'll break it down into three categories. I would say develop your passion and your desire, set some nice, big, ambitious goals, and do not let go.
Yeah.
Okay. Three pretty simple principles. And if I tie that back a little bit into, I guess, question that we've referred to before around, the renewable energy zones that are in planning stages and different starts of progress. And for example, I'll reference offshore wind. Let's take away the will or not happen. At the end of the day, we need a new renewable system to provide energy. Now, it may be wind, it may be solar, it may be hydro, it may be a combination of all three. Now, for a young person starting out in their career, they are retirement level roles, right? Just in those three sectors. Where the real opportunity, I think, sits for a lot of the larger part of the population will be in the supply chain that goes along with that. Not only working in those high level big industries, but as Peter has referenced just previously in his illustrious career is, what flows on downhill from that, and the support levels and the maintenance teams that go along with that will be alongside them for a very long time. So develop your passion, have a nice broad set of goals, and whatever it is those goals are, get at it and do not let go.
So to that end, what do you see as being the specific in-demand apprenticeship types in the clean energy sector?
I think they remain at their core of still where they are. Things still need to be built. So construction, civil, mechanical, electrical, and those fundamental trade skills will always be in demand.
Yeah.
When we're talking about some significant numbers that have been placed out there around skills that we require, something like 70,000 welders or something like that. I mean, so we're always going to need boilermakers. We're always going to need electricians. Those numbers aren't going to go away anytime soon. Sure, there'll be some specialities that flow off the side of that, which even as Peter has alluded to in his career.
Yeah.
But the fundamental skills for those clean energy roles will still be at its core.
And Peter, what are you hearing from the membership about the evolution of clean energy across your footprint?
Probably one of the biggest is their own personal moral wish, wants, needs, that they do want to be part of this future manifesto of clean energy around the world, and even in their own individual business, of where they can look at circular economy recycling, where they can purchase circular economy recycled equivalents to their existing raw material supply chain, where they can get power, fuels, whatever they may be, to be part of their own part. And everyone, that's just it. Everyone from a household to a business to a large industry to a country can all play their individual parts. Where they find sometimes frustration is finding that supply chain of a circular economy product, that it's without the offtake, we won't have the business, and without the business, we won't have the offtake. So in general, it's this passion that they all have, and their wants and needs through different initiatives like the Decarbonisation Hub, other grants and fundings that are out there, and then getting access to those to help them on their pathways. So there's a lot of impetus and interest to be part of looking at new energies.
Yeah.
And just last week, there was, of all things, a road recycling program to actually use the existing roads as a future road with some polymers and binders, and the word biochar that probably a lot of people are going to hear in the next few years, that they all play a part in sequestration, but also recycling and not using asphalt and high, what you'd call high fossil fuel industries.
So in closing, we're particularly grateful that HunterNet's committed to supporting the New Energy Apprenticeships mentoring program that VERTO is delivering nationally. Just in terms of mentoring, what would you gentlemen consider the three most important things?
I would suggest probably listening to what the individual is looking for, trying to align what their goals are. As I said, develop the passion, set the goals. So understanding what the individual could particularly be looking for. I mean, this is such a diverse, broad sector that can sometimes get a little demystified in some roles probably undefined at this stage.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that if we have a first discussion or first meeting type arrangement, understanding who the individual is, what support they require, and understanding where their goal is, where they want to go. Because at the end of the day, they will be the one that will be doing the hard work in getting themselves to that point. Leading a horse to water, for want of using a better analogy, then they take their next steps from there. On the back of that, and it is support.
Well, can I say, gentlemen, thank you very much for being so generous with your timing, for affording us your knowledge and expertise. And we look forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you very much.